station of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Ohio.
A former first-round draft pick of the Indians is opening eyes in camp, and it's not Francisco Lindor. Tyler Naquin has been the center of attention this spring in Arizona. He will lead off in support of Corey Kluber next on Sports Time Ohio. It's another beautiful day in the desert in Arizona. Spring training baseball continues today. Cactus League action. We hit the road. We're at Salt River Field to Talking Stick in Scottsdale, where the Indians take on the Arizona Diamondbacks. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. Another spectacular day, and it's a really great day if you're Tyler Naquin, because a dream come true for Naquin. Earlier today, Terry Francona informed him he will break camp with the Indians, making his first big league roster.
You know, what a thrill it is for a young man, 24-year-old Tyler Naquin. You know, he's got a week to go, but he's earned every bit of it. He's come into camp. He's hit the baseball hard. He's hit extra base hits. He's played center field. He's got a terrific arm. He deserves it. He's the only natural center fielder that the Indians have, so I would look for him to be penciled into that lineup opening day. 2 homers, 4 RBIs, 3 doubles, 3 triples. He has definitely earned it.
Yeah, there's nothing better than knowing that he went out and won the job. Nothing was given to Tyler Naquin this spring. On the hill for the Tribe today, another guy who's done it the hard way. Corey Kluber, the former Cy Young Award winner, will toe the rubber for the Tribe. Indians, Diamondbacks, all the play-by-play action is coming up next. In Arizona, as the Indians are getting ready to take on the Arizona Diamondbacks. Gorgeous afternoon. It's warm, not a cloud in the sky. It's been that way for much of the month here for teams participating in Cactus League play. As the Rosters are starting to get trimmed down. We're making our way towards opening day, April 4th, for the Indians at home in Cleveland against the Boston Red Sox. And a few more moves made before today's game. Matt Underwood, Rick Manning will bring in Andre Knott. Nothing necessarily earth-shattering, but you talk about the bullpen moves, and Joe Thatcher informed he won't make the club. So that was not necessarily something that came as a huge surprise, but that means that there's another guy less in the mix when you're talking about that lefty spot out of the bullpen.
Well, you got a couple left-handers pitching in today's game. Gorzelani is supposed to pitch as well as Detweiler. Ross Detweiler. So, you're coming down to that week. And I'll tell you what, the last week of spring training certainly has a lot to do for a couple of positions for a lot of clubs, and Indians being one of them.
Well, the other storyline is the flu. The flu has hammered this team. Scores of players, coaches, and team personnel have been dealing with this on and off for the last couple of weeks. Yan Gomes was hit very hard, was sent home the other day early, but he's in the lineup today. With more on that, we go down to Andre Knott.
Yan Gomes back in the lineup today. Yesterday he was back in the facility, guys, but still dealing with it. Matter of fact, he even told me today, stay back. He goes, you don't want what I've had. And then, we haven't talked about this a lot as Yan goes through with Corey Kluber as we're talking about it. Danny Salazar struggled the other day when he pitched. He went home yesterday early, dealing with the same thing. A lot of guys dealing with it right now. You just hope that they can get this out of the way over the next week. Now, one of the guys that's not on this trip, let's talk about Lonnie Chisenhall. Lonnie was supposed to start playing in big league games again today. He didn't play last night, obviously, because there was a lefty on the mound for the Dodgers. But because the doctors are flying in, a hand specialist is flying in to the facility today, they kept him back in Goodyear to get his wrist and his hand checked out. It's a forearm injury, is from what we've been told. Now, he's told me over the last couple of days that he's feeling better. He felt like it's something that he's gone through over the last couple of springs, but it bothered him a little bit more than usual, and he's thinking because it's from these new throws he's making from right field into the infield. Now, he's been taking minor league at-bats over the last couple of days, and guys, we can look at the stats. His first 25 at-bats were nothing to write home about, and I know it's the spring, but we're getting to that point where you start worrying possibly, is Lonnie Chisenhall okay? The team has said that he is, but I think it'll be interesting over the next couple of days to find out if he'll be ready to go on April 4th as well. Michael Brantley is going to be looked at back at home. We think everything is going to be good with him. They're hoping he can take batting practice. Hopefully we'll have more information on him later on in the day as well.
Hard for me to believe that Chisenhall is going to be okay after the way he played this spring, and I have a hard time believing the throws from right field. It never bothered him last year when he had to play in the ball game. So there's got to be something wrong that we don't know about with Lonnie.
Well, you certainly wonder. I mean, not just take the statistics out of the equation. Just the fact that he hasn't been able to get on the field. Now he's playing in minor league games, and the reason for that is so that he can try to get as many at-bats as possible. So it's almost conflicting. Is there something wrong with the form or not? Because
right.
if you want to get him as many at-bats as possible, that would assume that he's healthy.
Yeah, you would think so. I mean, I have a hard time believing it, and we really don't know, but I'm sure we'll find out something in the near future. And then to Andre down there, did you think Yan Gomes was going to miss a start by Corey Kluber, whether he had the flu or not?
Absolutely
I mean, seriously.
No, you knew that he was going to be out there with Corey Kluber. They're one and together in everything that they do. But, for Yan, he's had a really good spring, and I think he wanted to stay out there. He's been swinging the bat really well. But, no, I didn't think he would miss it. One more thing on Chisenhall. I talked to him yesterday, and let's forget all the arm stuff. And I even kind of said to him, I go, with the way you started hitting, he came into spring thinking he was on the team and knowing he was on the team, you would think he'd be relaxed mentally. But Rick, he told me, he goes, these last couple of days I needed it. He says mentally I was kind of fighting myself. That's something that you kind of worry about, that a guy's that's been around as long as he has was worrying about spring training at bats and admitting that mentally he needed a few days away to kind of get his mind straight.
It truly is. In spring training, when he was the number one at least to get a job, and coming out here for a platoon action facing right-handed pitchers, I have a hard time that the pressure was put on him unless he put it all on himself.
Well, I think that's part of the thing that he's done, but I think at some point in time, I know Terry Francona had a conversation with him. The head coach of the San Antonio Spurs, Greg Popovich, told one of his players a couple weeks ago, he goes, look, you got $1 million contract. Whether you shoot it, miss, or make it, everyone's going to love you still. So I mentioned that to Tito, and Tito goes, yeah, I've had conversations with certain guys on our team about that. Go out here and enjoy it. Swing it. If you miss it, so what?
Right.
If you hit it, so what? But go out and enjoy the game and stop thinking so much.
Well, the Indians have been playing better. in spring training here of late. I know the records and the stats don't mean a whole lot, but it's the results. It's a result-oriented sport, and as a hitter, if you get hits, you feel good about yourself. This goes back to that whole conversation we had about confidence, and the Indians had 11 hits yesterday against the Dodgers. That's 11 times now in 25 games they've had double figures in the hit column, so certainly something that bodes well, because this is a team that, look, we all know coming in, good offense, a great pitching, good bullpen. How can the offense help more than maybe it did a year ago? Terry Francona's starting lineup this afternoon looks like this. Tyler Naquin will lead it off. He's in center field. Jose Ramirez and Carlos Santana will follow. A couple of switch hitters. Yan Gomes hits cleanup. Then Will Venable, a left-handed bat, is in the 5-hole. Robbie Grossman, a switch hitter, will DH. Then right-handers fill it out. Gio Urshela, Todd Hankins, and Eric Gonzalez.
Well, one of the new additions to the starting rotation for the Arizona Diamondbacks, Shelby Miller, going to make the start. His fourth of the spring, 1-0 at 270 earned run average. And last year, you can see they didn't score for him. He had a rough year, 6-17, but just a hair over a 3 ERA. Went over 200 innings. They are really pleased because when they signed Zach Greinke, they wanted this guy or somebody else to back him up. And this guy has a very good arm. He's a fly ball pitcher, which doesn't fare well in their Chase Field down there, but between 92 and 97, he's got a hard slider. He can mix in that curveball and an occasional changeup as well. So he should be number 2 in their rotation. Let's set that defense behind Miller this afternoon. It looks like this in the outfield. Tomas is in left, Brito in center, Peralta in right, Lamb at third, Ahmed at short, Drury at second, Goldschmidt at first, Castillo doing the catching.
And we're ready to go here in Scottsdale. Salt River Fields at Talking Stick. Tyler Naquin, informed earlier this afternoon by Terry Francona, he will indeed be on the big league ball club. That'll give him his first shot at playing in the major leagues, and this ball fouled away as we're underway. .81 our game time temperature. Naquin takes it. A fastball runs over the inside corner, puts him in the hole. 0-2. Fights it off, foul back.
Yeah, Miller not afraid to use his fastball. He came right back inside with another one on an 0-2 pitch. Naquin able to foul it off. He just did not get a lot of runs scored behind him last year.
Shelby Miller suffered a loss or a no decision in 17 starts in which he allowed 2 or fewer runs.
Yeah, I know. That's the tough thing about it. It's not how you pitch, it's when. And last year he pitched on the wrong days as far as the offense goes.
Naquin hammers it into center field on a base hit. But Tyler Naquin has just been terrific this spring. That gives him now 18 hits in 39 at bats.
Well, and he didn't mess around. Miller kept coming right at him, but he gives Tyler a little swinging room right here, and he hits another fastball right back up the middle. A nice short quick swing. So he'll start it off with a base knock.
The 18 hits for Naquin, one more than Mike Napoli to top the team in the hit category on the spring. Here's Jose Ramirez. Ramirez is also having a very good spring, and he rips this ball foul down the right field line. I don't know coming into camp that there was necessarily a lot of suspense around whether or not he would make the club. I think if you looked at it, you said, well, he's the guy. He's your utility man coming in. Although you could say, well, hasn't really played a lot in terms of the big leagues and experience, and how will he maybe adjust? But he's gone out, and like Naquin, he's just flat out played better than everybody else that has potentially been competing with him.
You know what? He's been fine. There's guys, there's more veterans around now you can learn from. You know, if he's not going to play every day, which he's not, at least not scheduled to anyway, to fit in, he's got to pay attention. He's got to do his homework. He's got to work hard at a lot of different positions, and there's no reason why he can't be a quality utility man that can play around. And if for some reason something comes up, he could fill in and play every day. That's worst case scenario if you have to come in and play every day.
Jose has hit a team leading 4 home runs on the spring. I beg your pardon. He's one behind Giovanni Urshela and has the team lead with 5. But those 4 home runs, Terry Francona said, you know, he has more power than you think.
Yes.
He's stronger than you realize.
He showed us that last year when he hit a couple from both sides of the plate.
Now, that doesn't mean you're looking for him to hit home runs.
Not at all.
If a pitcher makes a mistake, he's got enough to jolt one out of here.
All these guys do nowadays. They're bigger than you think. Even though he's not a very big guy, he's solid, put together well, and if he strikes it well, it'll get out of there.
Naquin's off on a 3-1 pitch, swing and a miss, throw down a second, and he is out. Wellington Castillo with a good throw. A better job by the shortstop, Nick Ahmed, to take the one-hop throw and apply the tag.
Yeah, he just didn't get in there in time as he gets rid of the ball quickly, and he picked it nicely, and he didn't have to go up. He comes straight down with the tag. If he had to, see, he backhanded that ball, and his glove wasn't coming up a little bit, or Naquin would have been in there.
Ramirez clobbers one to deep center field. Brito on the move. He's on the track and makes the catch. A fine running catch in deep center field by Socrates Brito for out number 2.
Told you, Miller is a fly ball pitcher, and in Arizona, you know what? See many fly balls, but he had Brito did a nice job of covering ground. He's on his backhand side, being the left-hander out there in center field. The ball jumps in Chase Field too.
That'll bring up Carlos Santana.
Side being the left-hander out there in center field. The ball jumps in Chase Field too.
That'll bring up Carlos Santana. And a line drive caught. The first here in Arizona. Take a look at the Diamondbacks starting lineup. Socrates Brito will lead it off. Brandon Drury, Paul Goldschmidt. Then it's David Peralta in the cleanup spot. Wellington Castillo will hit 5th. Jake Lamb will bat 6th. Then it's Yasmani Tomas, Chris Herman, and Nick Ahmed.
Corey Kluber on the mound for the Indians this afternoon. Kluber making his 5th start. He's having a brilliant spring. 3-0, a .64 earned run average, 16 strikeouts in his 14 innings, and you know, the opening day starter, so he's getting it geared up to get ready April 4th back in Cleveland. He'll probably have one more start after this, or a tune-up at least.
Now Kluber's been so good. The windup and the pitch, and it's inside for ball 1. It's not that you want to see him pitch poorly in spring, but he's pitching so well in the spring. You're like, boy, I hope this doesn't go away early in April.
When you go and you talk to him, one reason why is because he comes out and he says, I don't work on things in the game.
Broken bat. Liner going to fall in center field for Brito.
You know, let's set the Indians defense too while we have a moment. Hankins at left, Naquin at center, Venable in right, Urshela at third, Gonzalez at short, Ramirez at second, Santana at first with Gomes catching. Kluber doesn't work on it. He works it on the side session. So he goes out there and pitches like it's a regular game, you know, and he takes it very seriously. So you would expect him to do well. He doesn't mess around, and I like that attitude. Even though it's spring training and the pressure's not there, you still want to get a feel for everything you have and still be successful.
Runner goes on the first pitch to Drury. Gomes throw right on the money, and he got him.
Yeah, how about the 2 catchers in the first inning making terrific throws? Gomes never even left his knees.
And that was a perfect strike to Ramirez, who covered the bag. Watch the throw, folks. On a line right on the bag to Jose Ramirez.
I mean, it's a low fastball. He backhands it, and he throws from his left knee. But, I mean, it was like a dart. Right there, he slides into it, and a beautiful throw.
I don't know how he could get that much on the throw, literally throwing off one knee.
Catchers are amazing. Obviously, he has to have that weight behind, you know, where he can get something on it. But the accuracy of the throw is the thing. You know, it's not a matter he got rid of it quickly, but the accuracy was tremendous. So both catchers in the first doing a nice job.
Drury drives one to deep center. Back is Naquin, looking up. Gone. No, it hit the top of the fence. You know what? I just looked out there. There's no yellow line here. So that extended, is that part of the fence? Must be.
I would think it is.
The concrete there, at least that first level.
It goes, I mean, this ball is hammered. It's a comeback fastball over the middle of the plate. And Drury hit it, and Naquin knew it wasn't going to get over. And it does. It hits about a foot off the top part of that fence. So I don't know. Maybe it is a home run out there. I think there's a little.
No, I think that the concrete's in play up to that first level.
You know what? Now that I take that back, this is designed the same dimensions as their field in Chase, and they have that high center field wall out there that's a home run. So this is designed exactly like their ballpark downtown.
Now you can see it hit above the padded wall, but there's no yellow line like there is in Goodyear, for example. So it goes as a double for Drury.
Well, we're going to have to go out for the ground rules when the umpires meet next time when we're here.
Well, 410 feet to straightaway center's a poke.
You're thinking it should be a home
yeah,
run,
right.
Huh?
I know if you're Drury, you're thinking that. Paul Goldschmidt. This guy has been fantastic. Look at the batting average, 33 homers. Second in the National League with 110 runs batted in a year ago.
Well, an MVP every year candidate for that award.
Ramirez with the backhand and takes care of Goldschmidt 2 away. Drury to third on the play. That's going to bring up David Peralta. During the offseason, The Diamondbacks were very aggressive in trying to add starting pitching. They went out and gave Zach Greinke more than $200 million to sign here. Then they went the trade route to get Shelby Miller, and there was a lot of talk that maybe the Indians and Diamondbacks would pull off a trade because the Diamondbacks were looking for pitching, something the Indians definitely had a lot of that people were looking for. The Indians were looking for outfield help, and many thought that perhaps Arizona would be willing to part with A.J. Pollock.
That's who they were looking for, and Arizona says no way. They ended up giving up Inciarte in a deal for Miller. Now there's the #1 free agent signed this winter by the D-backs.
Look at that ERA last year.
Yeah, it was scary. You know, I don't see how he could have a lower ERA this year pitching in Arizona. He'll have more starts in that dome, and the West is a good place to pitch. Dodger Stadium, you've got the San Francisco, San Diego. You're going to see a good changeup here from Corey Kluber. Has Peralta way out front, down in the zone, and gets him to chase it. Nice block by Gomes.
2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 down and a runner at third here in the first inning. Looked like he came back with it again. Count goes full. Right-handed hitting catcher Wellington Castillo waits on deck. During the regular season, you're facing a cleanup hitter, especially in the American League Central Division, where there are some good ones. And a base open in a 3-2 situation with a right-handed hitter on deck. Corey Kluber would not have to give in.
Nice.
And he did it right there. Wow. On the outside corner, locks him up to end the inning. Corey Kluber gets out of trouble in the first. No score in Arizona.
Back in 2016 with MLB.com at bat on your smartphone or tablet. You can stay connected with live radio broadcasts, stats, breaking news, and more. Download the #1 app for live baseball. That's MLB.com at bat.
Second inning here at Salt River Field at Chalking Stick, located just off the 101 freeway here in Scottsdale, Arizona.
Might be the finest facility in all of spring training baseball, no matter which one you look at. I have not been in the Cubs yet, you know, that just opened last year, which is just down the road at 101 and 202. but this one is tough to beat.
Well, you're located in Scottsdale, which is that's a huge advantage. Oh my, Gomes goes down on a pitch up and in. And for a guy who's dealt with as much as he's dealt with, it's the last thing you want to see.
Well, he turned away from it is the good thing. I'm not sure where that ball got him, if it was the shoulder, the arm, or what, but Terry Francona and a trainer coming out to check him out. He looks okay. That's where you get scared more than anything else. You see that ball coming up and in, but he turned away from it the way you have to, turned back toward the plate.
Another look here on the ball that's just
back up. It got him in. It looked like the helmet, the ear flap. It looked like it got above the shoulder. It did. He's lucky. I thought it might have went off his shoulder, but I don't think so.
Oh, it definitely got the helmet.
That is scary.
Might have glanced the shoulder, Rick. I don't know.
It looked like the helmet took the brunt of it.
Will Venable steps in. And Miller misses outside, ball one.
Boy, the last thing you need going into the last week of spring training is something like that to happen. But fortunately, he seems to be fine. One more look. It's a break it ball. He gets underneath and it doesn't break. You can see he got over it and it looked like it just clipped that
the bill,
the ear flap or the bill of the helmet. Very lucky. That's an inch away from being something that could have turned out nasty.
Popped up foul and out of play. With the Michael Brantley situation very much up in the air now, and probably, if anything, it's leaning toward Brantley not opening the season with the club.
Yeah.
That really makes the outfield situation even more intriguing, even with Tyler Naquin making the club officially.
Well, I agree, because if Brantley starts on the DL, you would assume it's going to be a platoon situation out there, you would think. So that means they would stay with an extra outfielder.
We know Rajay Davis is on the club. Slowly tapped to second base, and that's going to be a double play. 4-6-3 as Venable grounds in to the double play. Today's storylines: stretch out Corey Kluber as he gets ready for opening day, and the 5 outfield spots. We assume that the Indians will be taking 5 outfielders with them to start the season, and I think now, especially with the Michael Brantley, at least it's been questioned.
Well, you have the 5 outfielders, and then Ramirez could also play it too, as an option.
I mentioned I was starting to say Rajay Davis, he's going to be on the ball club. Tyler Naquin, we know, is officially on the ball club. Lonnie Chisenhall can get himself healthy between now and opening day. You assume he's going to be there.
I know. I look at
now has a strong chance to make this ball club.
Bird just took the inside track there with the news we heard from Chisenhall, and you can see why.
Pitches outside, and it's now 3-0 to Robbie Grossman. And 4 straight. Well, that enables Grossman to reach to keep the inning alive with 2 down, and they'll bring up Giovanni Urshela. In addition to Grossman, is Shane Robinson still in camp? Will Venable just batted? There's still a number of players vying for an opportunity.
Well, here's a guy that's had a terrific spring and has changed his swing at the plate where it's a much shorter swing. He gets that front foot down. He had a higher leg kick last year, and it's quickened up his bat. He gets that foot down much quicker. You know, he had a tendency where he had a long looping swing last year. He'd get jammed and everything seemed to go to right field. He's been quick on the fastball in. He's quickened up the swing, and he's had good results with it. Yeah, and you don't know if, you know, knowing they were going to send him to AAA had anything to do with it or take pressure off him or whatever, but you're going to see him again this year, there's no doubt, if he's not on the team leaving camp.
2 down, a runner at first as Grossman takes his lead and a throw over to keep him close. Shelby Miller hit Yan Gomes to start the inning with a breaking ball that he cut under. Then he got a double play ball, but then walked Robbie Grossman on 4 straight. And now he gets Urshela to pop one sky high on the infield. Drury, the second baseman, makes the catch. We'll head to the bottom of the second in Scottsdale. No score. No scores. We go to the bottom of the second here in Arizona. Wellington Castillo, Jake Lamb, and Yasmani Tomas will bat for the D-backs. And a fastball strike. Way out in front.
Yeah, you try to cheat on that Kluber fastball, and next thing you know, you get a slider, and you look like that.
Bullseye. Not sure what Castillo was looking for, but that was right down Broadway.
The first time you face Corey Kluber, you come out there, you know the scouting report, he's aggressive, he throws strikes, so you want to get up there and swing. But he can hit his spots. He started him out with a fastball, a little slider, comes back with a fastball, and he had no chance. It was overmatched because they just don't know when they pick up the baseball, and he can be tough to pick up from the right side of the plate because he sort of hides it and slings it over there from 3/4.
Jake Lamb steps in, left-handed hitter. And he swings at the first pitch and drives one to deep right field. This one's not coming back. And the Diamondbacks take the lead.
He found his happy zone there.
Jake Lamb's third home run on the spring.
Yeah, he went down and in to Lamb, and that's the sweet spot for left-handers, at least a lot of them. And the barrelhead found the baseball and watched him get it out in front, and this ball jumped off his bat. He just didn't get it in enough. Right into his nitro zone, so D-backs will take a 1-0 lead.
That'll bring up Yasmani Tomas. And Kluber with a pitch up and in for ball one. Tomas playing in just his 8th game of the spring, but he has swung the bat very well, going 10 for 22. 5 doubles.
Well, a guy they gave a lot of money to, thinking he was going to be something special, and you know, he had to work hard last year and didn't pan out for him, so they're expecting big things from him this year.
Kluber taking a little something off, and Tomas swinging right over the top. It's 2-2. So, man, a low tracer at the knees, and Tomas has rung up. That's 3 strikeouts now for Corey Kluber. As we go down to Andre Knott, who has more on the Indians' right-hander as he tries to tune things up now.
Yeah, he tunes up things a little bit different. I've heard you guys talking about in the first couple of innings. And in last start against the Cubs, Kluber was he gave up his first run of the spring. And he said, you know what? I didn't mind having some traffic on bases. He goes, I'm a competitor. And he goes, you want to know you can get out of certain situations. He had a bases-loaded situation where he only gave up 1 run against the heart of the Cubs lineup. And he said, you know what? You need to find that out now and how to get out of it. Because I don't want to wait till April 4th to find out what works and when it works. An interesting take from a guy that's kind of figuring out how to be an ace, but he likes to get in these situations and get himself out of them early on.
Yeah, you can understand that, because if you go through spring and you don't have many situations, as we say, the game speeds up on you. And when you get some big hitters in situations with runners on base, you have to make your pitches and slow the game down. Kluber normally does that, but it certainly helps when you can do it in spring training.
One. Another low pitch in the zone, and Kluber seems to be dialed in with his command when he's trying to throw that ball down and away to a spot. He's been spot on. Now, granted, he did make the mistake down and in to Jake Lamb, and he hit it out of here. But that one, I don't know. Close, didn't get the call.
You got to understand, too, the umpire can be fooled here. Jim Wolf's a good umpire, ball and strike called umpire, but that's that backdoor breaking ball on the outside edge. It was close.
2-2. Ran it up the ladder, and he's fouled back. Also, remember that Yan Gomes is one of the better catchers in baseball at the subtleties of just framing a pitch just enough that he gets a number of pitches called strikes that might not otherwise be called. Now the 2-2. Swung on and missed. Breaking ball got him. And Corey Kluber with back-to-back Ks, given 4 already through 2 innings. But Arizona strikes first. They lead it 1-0. third inning here at Salt River Fields and Talking Stick. Let's go down to Andre Knott in the Indians dugout. He's with a man who, when Corey Kluber pitches, usually doesn't have a whole lot to do.
That's a great point, Matt. You know, Matt just said when Kluber's on the mound, usually not an easier day for you, but probably a more enjoyable day, correct?
Oh, yeah, it's pretty easy. I just kind of sit over here and watch him go to work, and it's kind of fun. You know, I just try to stay out of the way. So I can come over here and talk to you all day if you want.
Well, we like that. Well, you look at him right now. What he's done this spring, been pretty impressive.
It's been really good. You know, so under control. The way he's ramped himself up for the season has been like almost robotic. I mean, his velocity's just increased like a mile per hour every outing. It's pretty amazing how, you know, self-aware of his body he is.
How big is it to you that he's gone through a year of being an ace, facing number ones? You pitched in the big leagues. How big is that for a guy to get comfortable with that situation?
You know, I think it was huge for him. You know, he kind of went from all of a sudden he was winning a Cy Young to now, you know, opening day starter and stuff like that. So to get a year of that under his belt was really good. To get a year of carrying a staff on your back for him was really good. And he's doing all the right things. It's really fun to watch.
Go ahead, Matt. You can tell him what's going on, and we'll continue.
Well, a little infield base hit there for Todd Hankins. I'm curious, Andre, you know, we're going to take a look at Corey Kluber, who some of the work he's had here this afternoon. A lot of very sharp off-speed pitches for Kluber here today.
You know, they're talking upstairs about the off-speed pitches that we've seen with Kluber early on. Does that surprise you that he's this sharp this early in spring?
You know, I think it was a little surprising to even himself, the way he came out the first game and was kind of pinpoint and on. But, you know, it doesn't shock me. You know, I knew he prepared coming in. He got what he needed out of those live BPs and those first few pins that we throw when you come in to get ready for the game. So, you know, I've kind of expected him to be there.
No pressure on you, but the strength of this team obviously is in the pitching. We're going to the offseason last year and everyone talking about, well, we need a bat. You're going to move a guy. For you, what's your feelings or what's your emotions when you see all these guys come back that we had heard possibly being moved or not being here?
Yeah, I think we embrace that. I mean, I think we've established a pretty good culture here with the way our pitchers work and their you know, routines and stuff, which leads to all the success they've had. And I think we embrace that challenge. We want people to look to us to kind of, you know, run things and be the leaders of the team and carry us where we need to go. That's what we want.
Sorry about that. We saw Salazar struggle the other time, last time out. Had trouble gripping the ball, and then I see him leaving the facility early yesterday. He's got the Indians flu. Can we call it that? Any concerns with him, and is he able to run and kind of take care of his legs afterwards?
You know, he got his work in that he had to get in. I'd like to see him get a little bit more work in, deeper into the game, you know, at this point in spring. But, you know, we'll get him healthy. He'll go out there and we'll try to get him through 5 or 6 his next outing, and he should be on target. He's got to go out there and throw strikes, you know. Anytime you walk 3 guys and things like that and don't get through the third, that's a concern. He needs to, you know, make sure that doesn't happen again.
The double take guy of spring, Cody Anderson. He walks by us, you go, who is that guy? What's going to happen with him going forward, and what has surprised you about him so far?
You know, he's done such a good job of doing everything that we've asked throughout the off season, and you know, I'm so proud of who he is and the things that he does to prepare to go out there and give us the best chance to win. So, you know, I'm excited he's on our staff, and I know all the team pulls for him and the way he goes about things.
His velocity, it's different. It's holding a little bit higher. Do you got to teach him anything else? Because he even told me, he goes, I'm throwing harder, but it's not staying as low. You know, it's a little different for him right now.
Yeah, he's got to get used to that, you know, really getting through the ball, obviously, a little bit better now and throwing a little bit harder. He's going to have to get used to getting the ball down where he wants to. And I think he's struggled with that at times throughout the spring. I think others, it's been really good. His breaking pitches look better, especially with the new arm speed that he's kind of gotten going. And he's going to be a really good pitcher for us.
You know, we obviously see Josh Tomlin, and I know Rick made this comment the other day talking to Tito. The numbers don't look like, when you look at the numbers and you just read the paper, it doesn't look like what we're used to. But how hard is it to judge a guy like that when you're out here in Arizona? The air is a little bit different, but you guys know what you have in him, right?
Absolutely. We don't look at anybody's numbers. You know, whoever makes our team out of the pen or in the rotation, it's not going to be numbers driven at all. You know, we're going to look at what are their pitches doing, what did they do in the offseason to come and prepare, who's going to give us the best chance to succeed and win when they're on the mound. And those are the type of things we look at.
Going into this final week of the spring, got to be difficult for you because you've had all these different guys come in. Joe Thatcher today was told he's not going to make the team. When we look at that bullpen, you try to put it together, and we know Tito and you guys like to use it. What goes into, the lefty that you use or the extra righty? I know Dan Otero's talked about how much he's loved how you've been in communication with him. You had a tough one last night. How difficult is this last week and kind of putting that bullpen together for you?
Yeah, it's going to be really tough. We've got some decisions to make in the rotation, and some of those decisions could impact the pen. So we've got a lot of decisions to make here in the next week or so. But anytime you're sending a guy like Joe Thatcher home, who was unbelievable in the spring, that means you got some tough decisions coming, because he pitched good enough to make a team, and he probably end up going somewhere else and being on a major league staff because of the way he pitched. So it's going to have some tough conversations, some tough decisions, and we're looking forward to those.
Matt, I know you have an idea that you want to throw down here. What do you have?
Yeah, Andre, if in fact they take one lefty for the bullpen, and we're expected to see Crockett, Detweiler, Gorzolani all pitch today, is the race close enough where one appearance down the stretch could tip the scales and balance of one guy or the other?
Matt's asking about if you guys only bring one lefty, and we're going to see all the other guys today. Could it come down to an outing in the next week or so, and what the decision makes, since you may only have one lefty with you?
No, I don't think it'll come down to one outing. We're looking at their overall spring. Are they getting ahead? Are they throwing first pitch strikes? Are they spinning the ball the way they need to spin it to get a lefty out? Things like that. So, it's never going to come down to one outing. It can look like that at times, but that'll never be the case.
With Kyle Crockett, you've watched him. He still looks young, but as a young guy, he comes up. He got some problems last year. I know you guys kind of tinker with some stuff. How impressed have you been with how he's come back this spring?
He's been really good. Back to the Kyle Crockett we saw 2 years ago, throwing the ball down in the zone, getting ahead, getting outs, and that's what we want out of Kyle. He looks really good.
All right, last question, and I'll let you get back to enjoying the game. Bauer, we watched him last night against the Dodgers. And really, if you didn't know the difference, he hooked up pretty good against Kershaw. He did a good job. But, he comes out early in camp, talks about he wants to throw harder. Where's he at right now where you guys see him in his development?
I think he's growing. And, I think all of our guys continue to grow. Obviously, some of the things that he said we haven't really seen. I feel like he's going out there and competing and, throwing the ball down in the zone a little bit more than I've seen in the past, and he's throwing the ball well.
Appreciate the time, Mickey. Enjoy the rest of this one, and hopefully we can get to April 4th sooner than later.
Thanks for having me.
All right, back up to you guys.
Thanks, Andre. Thanks to Mickey. Yeah, there will be some very tough conversations in the next week as this club tries to get down to the 25-man roster.
As we say every spring, too, the team you break with doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be there throughout the month of April. A lot of changes can happen. Hopefully you stay healthy, but there's going to be a lot of changes. So they're going to take the best 25 with them that they think that they can get off to a good start with.
Well, Rick, you talk about the team you break with isn't necessarily the team that's going to be around longer. It's not even the team you start with.
Right.
Remember a couple of years ago in Toronto, who was the left-hander that went to Oakland?
Scotty Kazmir.
Yeah, he got hurt warming up
right
before opening day and was on the DL. So crazy things can happen.
And Tito knows that. Those guys talk about it. He goes in, and when he addresses the team the first day of spring training, he says, fellas, it took us 40-some guys last year,
right?
To get through this season, to get to where we were. And he knows that, and he lets them, because when they leave here, that doesn't mean that we're not going to see them the rest of the year. And you got to go down, and because you don't pout and don't get upset because you didn't make the team in spring, go down and prove you want to get back up there. And, boy, he lets these guys know that. And they go down with a vengeance and a plan in mind. As every team has to. Every team has to, because when you go through a Major League Baseball season of 162 games, you're going to go through, I would say, probably, if you're lucky, eight starting pitchers. A couple of years ago, somebody was at Cincinnati or somebody went through 5 or maybe 6, but that is a rarity. And a lot of teams hit double digits.
With 2 down and a runner at first, Jose Ramirez awaits a 1-2 pitch from Shelby Miller, but time is called. And a foul out of play.
Miller now starting to mix in that curveball a little bit, keep the hitters off balance.
Well, we talked before about Shelby Miller was added via the trade route in the offseason. He's been involved in a couple of big trades already in his career. Ramirez with a fly ball to left. Tomas makes the catch. The run's a hit. A man left. Bottom of the third. It's Arizona 1, Cleveland nothing.
To enjoy Indians baseball all summer is by becoming a season ticket holder, and you can choose from 8 different packages. And now a 20-game package plan, you can get up to 12 games free when you buy just 8. Go to Indians.com season tickets for more details.
Yellow warm day here in Scottsdale, Arizona. Spring training home of the Arizona Diamondbacks and the Colorado Rockies. They share this facility, Salt River Fields at Talking Stick. And this is quite a complex because not only do you have the baseball facility, which incorporates the stadium and training compounds for both Colorado and Arizona, but then right across the street you've got a casino, you've got a golf course.
Yeah, 2 18-hole golf courses.
There's a ton of stuff right here within a minute or so of this baseball facility.
Yeah, it's on Indian property.
Corey Kluber on the hill for the Tribe. He's given up 1 run. It was a solo home run to Jake Lamb in the 2nd inning, but that's the only thing that separated Corey Kluber in 4 consecutive strikeouts. Now a chopper to third. Urshela throws it across. 1 down. Well, with Corey Kluber on the mound, obviously one of the best pitchers in the American League, a former Cy Young Award winner, it's kind of appropriate that looking down on him and checking out the action today is one of the game's all-time greats, left-hander Randy Johnson, who was inducted into baseball's Hall of Fame last summer. The big unit was the first player to go into Cooperstown wearing the Diamondbacks logo.
Yeah, he's a booth away from us.
Yeah. Still looks intimidating.
That's one way of putting it. Yeah, he was 6'10" or 11 out on the mound. He was tough.
118 of his 303 career wins came in the Arizona uniform. Fly ball to center field. It's going to drop in front of Naquin. And a one-out single for Brito, who singled the exact same way his first time up.
Yes, he did.
It's a little shallow bloop. One on, one out. Well, not only, it's interesting because Randy Johnson, who obviously wore the Arizona uniform, was a huge part of their world championship. He serves as a special assistant to the president and the CEO. But you also have Tony La Russa, who is the chief baseball officer. Not sure exactly. I mean, some of these titles sometimes you're like, oh, chief baseball officer.
Yeah.
He's the CBO, huh?
Yeah, you can give anybody whatever title, but Tony, the ultimate baseball guy, managed for years, is now up in the front office. And, I guess his timing out here has been impeccable because I guess the Diamondbacks just signed what was it, $1.5 billion television deal out here, and they promptly went out and they signed the #1 free agent pitcher. They ended up spending some of that money that they got in their television contract. And so hopefully they're hoping to see some results this year. They had a terrific offense. They had no problem scoring runs last year. Their problem has been pitching in the past, and they're hoping that Greinke will settle it down, and that's why they went out and got Shelby Miller, and it'll take the pressure off the rest of the starters that are going to go out there for him. And you're looking at like a Patrick Corbin, a left-hander, Robbie Ray, another left-hander that we saw over with Detroit briefly, and then Robbie De La Rosa.
Well, Tony La Russa was never, I don't think he was ever comfortable with the genius label that was affixed to him. But there's no question. That pitch is inside, throw down by Gomes, quick release, and a great job by Jose Ramirez to tag him out on the other end.
Boy, that is a beautiful job. Ramirez made that play. Gomes gets the credit for throwing him out, but Ramirez, watch his footwork getting around the bag and just backhanding this ball and bringing it so quickly over to tag him before his hand gets in there. Really a beautiful job.
And look, what you always talk about, when you go in there hands first, Ramirez is sitting there, you're sliding right into his foot, right into his spikes with your hand.
Right. If you go in foot first, he may not be able to keep that foot there. He's going to give you it because it's going to be a cleat right in the shin.
Chop to third, Urshela fields it cleanly, and a perfect throw to retire the side. No runs a hit, nobody left. We played 3, and it's Arizona 1, Cleveland 0. Games and the Cavs are in the Big Apple tomorrow night to take on the New York Knicks. Cavaliers Live kicks off our coverage at 7. Then it's Fred, AC, and Allie bringing you all the action at 7:30 on the home of the Cavs, Fox Sports Ohio. For the Indians, here in the 4th inning, Carlos Santana will lead it off. There's a drive to center field. Back goes Brito. He's got room, and he'll make the catch. One away. And we'll bring up Yan Gomes. Boy, one thing about the Arizona Diamondbacks, I don't think any team has had more uniform changes for as young a franchise as it is. And now they've taken it a step further, because this year they have 8 uniform options this year. 8. And you're seeing the uniform. This is part of the new design. It's actually a cluster of diamonds that goes up the pant leg.
For the Diamondbacks?
Yeah, and then on the shoulders as well. It's a sharp look, but wow. They like to change it up. And they've also brought back, Rick, the original teal and purple uniform.
Well,
as, I think maybe a Sunday home combo.
Well, if you remember back when this franchise started, originated, the original guy behind everything was Buck Showalter, was managing out here, and had a lot to do with the design of all the different style of uniforms.
Somewhere along the line they went, is this the, what do they call this, Sedona red or Sonora red?
That could be called probably either one.
It's a sharp look. I think it's, I mean, it's just there's so much red in baseball. There's a one hopper to first. Handcuff Goldschmidt, and Gomes beats it out.
Well, Goldschmidt, a Gold Glover over there, he usually makes every play for the most part, but this one sort of handcuffed him. He didn't field it cleanly. And Gomes had the play in front of him. He hustled down the line. He ends up beating Miller to the bag, or at least the throw to the bag. That ball gets away. Goldschmidt goes back, makes the play, but not before Gomes can beat it out. So I'm sure that'll be an error.
So the error charged to Goldschmidt. 1 on 1 out now for Will Venable. The guy you feel bad for with all those uniform combinations,
Clubby,
is the clubhouse manager and his staff.
Well, they've
got
got
a lot to keep track of.
Decide on what they put out, you know, hang in front of their lockers, and I'm sure there's different hats to go along with the different colors of everything.
I count 7.
Seriously, 7 different hats this year.
That's what they have on the media guide. They go to second. They get to force on the lead runner Gomes. 2 away. Venable aboard on the fielder's choice. Now I have to tell you that just looking at it, the 3 hats they have in black all look exactly the same.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's a subtle difference between them.
There's got to be somehow, some way.
That would seem like a lot of different hats. 7 different caps for 8 different uniform combinations. Throw to first. Back with a dive is Venable.
Well, you know, in this town, it's transient. A lot of people from all over the country live here.
Sure.
You know, so, you know, their group of, you know, diehard fans, I wouldn't think is like it is in a lot of cities that we see back east. You know what I'm saying? That have been there for a while. And usually the people, if they're from Chicago. Oh, my goodness.
He caught it. How do you like that? Shelby Miller reached down and somehow snared the line drive off the bat of Robbie Grossman. Otherwise,
what I found,
that would have been in center field. Another look as we go to break. It remains 1-0 Arizona.
net is unbelievable. You're right. Between the legs, I mean, boy, oh boy. And he felt it go in, and no problem. You act like you know what you were doing. But it's an out, and it's a good play.
Paul Goldschmidt going to lead off the bottom of the fourth, and the big man takes a rip. One hop to Eric Gonzalez, who throws it across, one away.
We got a friend we talked to today, Bobby Freeman, who plays the organ here for the Diamondbacks and during the year. Bobby's mom, Evelyn, is watching and listening back in Parma, Ohio. We wanted to say hello to her, and she's a diehard Tribe fan. Remembers a 48-54 Indian. So, Evelyn, hello. Talked to Bobby today.
David Peralta out on strikes his first time up. How about Bobby dropping the Ashland connection?
Oh, I know it. You guys fell right into play right there.
There he is.
There's Bobby.
Yeah, he spent a little time playing at the King Lanes in Ashland.
Yeah, reminiscing, I guess, of what it was for about 15-20 minutes up here before the game.
Chopper in the hole and a base hit for Peralta. Fifth hit of the day for Arizona. They've had at least a hit in every inning so far. And it brings up Wellington Castillo.
He hit that ball in the hole. It almost looked like it hit the cut of the grass and even bounced more so towards the hole, towards second base, and it would have. I thought Santana might have a chance to dive for it, but no, not after the second hop.
You know, it's funny. I was just thinking, Rick, everything has its cost. You know, you love spring training in Arizona because you don't have rain. The conditions are atmospherically anyway are good to get your work in, get ready to start the season. But there's always a cost. Without the rain, the fields are like rock hard, so it's tough for infielders. Gomes pounces on it, goes to second for one, down to first, not in time. Nearly a double play.
Yeah, it's different. You're right. And you know, we talk about it. It's geared more so for offense. Watch this one right out in front of the plate. Gomes jumps on top of it and gets the lead runner at second. Ramirez tried to turn it, but beats the throw to first. That's why I think a lot of times when you leave here and you go back home, you don't know what the temperature is going to be for opening day or the first month of the season. And it's not going to be like this. And it's much more difficult to hit a baseball when you get into that cold weather and the ball doesn't carry and it doesn't shoot through like it does down here. So you enjoy this while you can. This is a good confidence builder.
I'm hoping that the Indians can load up the plane with some of the warmth and sunshine and take it back to Cleveland, because the long-range forecast for opening day looks like mid-30s.
Yeah.
Dry, but mid-30s.
Yeah. We'll pay attention to that in about another, 10 days.
I'm not sure the Browns had a game that was in the mid-30s this year.
Tough sun field.
Nice catch and left by Todd Hankins, and the inning is over. Corey Kluber has pitched 4. He's given up just 1 run, but the D-backs lead it 1-0.
The sun comes.
Back here, Salt River Fields at Talking Stick, where the Diamondbacks lead the Indians 1-0. We head to the 5th inning of action, and we go down to the Indians dugout, where we are happy to be joined now by Mike Barnett, who's in his first season with the ball club as a replay coordinator and staff assistant, an Ohio native. Got to get that in there. Born in Columbus, went to OU. Mike, thanks for being with us. How are you?
Rick, Matt, good to be with you guys.
Well, how's the spring gone for you? New club, getting obviously used to new players, a lot of hitters to work with.
It's been great. It's been a lot of fun. I mean, obviously coming over here, I'd been with Ty before, and obviously Tito, the usual spring training hijinks. But yeah, it's been great. Just work with Millsy in Houston, and oh boy, this could be a tough interview. But it's been fun. The guys have been great, and got a chance to work this winter with Yan Gomes a good bit, and that was my first experience with Yan. He's just been fantastic too, just a true professional, and it's been a lot of fun.
So obviously the replay coordinator duties are something new for you, but we've all sat at home on the couch, we've watched TV, we've seen the replays. So is it similar to a guy sitting on his couch with a clicker and say, oh, he was safe, go ahead, challenge that play?
Yeah, it is a little bit, but it just getting used to the equipment. We had one game against the Angels at home that I got a chance to use the equipment and stuff like that, and I think I've got a decent system going with it. But, a lot of stuff, it happens really quick because obviously, when you're watching a game on TV, it's easy to sit there on the couch, but you've got to be pretty quick to it because we've got to make a pretty quick decision. But it's going to be interesting with, no neighborhood play at second and things around the bag. It's going to be, big points of contention this year, and it's going to be interesting and a big adjustment for everybody for the first month of the season.
Well, you're right. The neighborhood plays, the sliding into second base and things like that. And, I mean, how do you instruct your base runners to go in to break up a double play if you can?
Well, really, I think, the rule reads that you've got to go, straight into the bag, and you've got to be able to hang on to the bag or attempt to hang on to the bag. So it's been things that, Sarby and Millsy have addressed a lot with guys, and especially Sarby work with infielders. Just that little thing of the natural reaction of going to catch the ball and your foot coming off the bag. It's going to be, a lot of double plays may be overturned because of that. So I know the video guys have done a great job doing a lot of video work as far as getting guys sliding, and then middle infielders play around the bag just to help them and say, look, this is acceptable, this isn't. But, talking to some of the umpires, I don't think they have a real clear clarification, and it's still up to interpretation for everybody. So it's going to be an interesting, probably first month of the season, just like it was with the tag plays at the plate as well.
Right.
Mike, how do you relay information? And granted, I know this is all new to you, but if it's close and you're not maybe 100% sure, but maybe you're 75% sure, do you try to relay that information to Brad Mills?
Yeah, we'll communicate anything that's close. And, Millsy this spring, even when we haven't been doing, any of the replay stuff, what do you got there? What do you got there? And so, I got a pretty good feeling when Millsy's going to come to me, and if I see anything, if you just watch it with the naked eye, you may miss a guy, infielder coming off the bag at second base a little bit early, and you may not even think about it. But those are things that I'm going to just start to review, right from game one. And I'll get another chance to work with it more in Texas, I believe, in the second game of the series, where we'll have all the replay stuff set up.
What people don't understand, Mike, is that you got to make a split decision. I mean, you've got to look at every little angle that you possibly can before you can make that decision. It has to be done in less than 30 seconds, I would think.
Yeah, and the thing about the Hawkeye system that really is good, you can hit, basically the space bar and stop stuff, and then go up to the right where the moment of truth is in the play. And the thing that's great about it is all the angles will sync up together. So it's not like you got to watch one play in its entirety and then another play. It's all synced up, so you can, make a pretty quick decision on it.
Gonzalez pops one foul out of play. In addition to your replay coordinating duties, You also help Ty and Matt Q with all the hitters, and obviously in spring training there are a lot of hitters to work with, aren't there?
Oh, there's a ton. I mean, you know, you start out and you got 30-some guys in the cage every morning, and these guys have been tremendous about their work. And I think we just have had about everybody in camp probably about a week, 10 days before we even actually got started. So it's been it's been busy down there, and guys have done a great job, and it's been a lot of fun.
Well, you go back to the minor leagues when Tito was managing with the White Sox, right?
Yeah, we go back. We were, Tito and I first came across each other. I was the hitting coach in High A, and he was a rookie ball hitting coach. And then he went on to manage in South Bend the next year. And then we were together for 3 years in Birmingham, and also Team USA. We were together and got together in Boston for part of the season. So, yeah, he and I go way back.
So you've got the battle scars to prove it.
I do. Yes.
3 years you'll never get back in your life.
No, exactly right.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's beautiful, and it's going to be hopefully a lot of fun this year for you guys.
Oh, I think we've got a good club and a great bunch of guys, and they're fun to be around, and they play hard, and they love the game. So it's going to be a fun year, I think.
Mike, welcome, and thanks for your time. We appreciate it.
Rick, Matt, thanks. I sure appreciate it.
All right, that's Mike Barnett. We have played 4.5 here in Arizona, where the Diamondbacks lead the Indians 1-0.
Just for Men hair.
Diamondbacks with a 1-0 lead as we head now to the bottom of the 5th inning. Arizona will have the bottom third of their order due up. Yasmani Tomas, Chris Herman, and Nick Ahmed. Corey Kluber's given up just that one run. It was a solo homer in the second. Diamondbacks had 2 hits in the first, 1 hit in the second, 1 in the third, 1 in the fourth. 2 would-be base stealers have been thrown out by Yan Gomes. And a swing and a miss by Tomas, who was out on strikes his first time up. '29-year-old Corey Kluber in his 5th big league spring training appearance. He has not walked a batter. In fact, he's only walked 3 total so far.
Well, that's typical Corey Kluber. He pounds the strike zone.
And that's covering 18 innings of work too.
You know, and he gets out there, and we saw last year where hitters made adjustments. They tried to get a little more aggressive on him earlier in the count, and you know they were successful. They had some hits, so he has to make some adjustments and make quality pitches on that first pitch for strike one. But he's all into throwing strikes, and he's a treat to watch every time out.
Kluber with the 4 strikeouts today. He has 20 punch-outs now in 18 innings of spring work.
Yeah, and when we talk about strikeouts with the Indian staff, they come because a lot of times they're ahead in the count and they expand hitters' strike zone. We say that time and time again. They don't go for the strikeouts. They try and get these guys to put the ball in play early in an at-bat, 3 pitches or less. But they make quality pitches. When they get ahead, they can throw that nasty slider. We're talking about him or Carrasco or Salazar, the changeup, and that's when the strikeouts come.
Off the glove of Santana. Ramirez recovers, throws to Kluber, who was covering, but not in time as Tomas beats it out.
He stayed on the baseball and put a good swing over to right field. It goes off the glove of Santana.
All right, we were talking to Mike Barnett, Rick, about the play at second base. The neighborhood play is no longer. And now a runner, once he makes his slide, he has to stay in that straight line. He can't deviate from his line once he starts to slide. Now, a lot of what I think a big reason for this rule we saw last fall in the postseason. Chase Utley.
Well, that's just a late slide. He could have reached the base. He never slid. You know, at that before the play. You got to slide earlier now. And that's what they're teaching these guys to do.
Santana goes to second for one, back to first. There's a double play. So that cost Ruben Tejada the rest of the postseason. And I think it got people talking. You know, is that a play we want in baseball? Well, obviously, the answer was no. So they're trying to eliminate that type of play. But that type of play has been around a long time. In fact, you know, back in your era, even before you came up to the big leagues, a guy like Hal McRae was noted as, if he's coming into second base, you better buckle your chin strap.
Well, yeah, that was a roll block call. It was called back then.
But it was legal, though.
Well, that was the World Series in '72. It was legal. Look at it. There was no intent in slide there. There was just intent on killing the guy where he couldn't turn the double play. And you know, another guy, Don Baylor, was one that would nail you. He'd knock you into the outfield. But you knew that going in. You had to get out of the way. You see, he wasn't going to make that throw because he saw McRae's head was down. And
now I'm watching that play and I'm wondering, why did Albert Bell have to go through so much grief? What Albert Bell did to Fernando Vini wasn't much worse than that.
There was 20 years difference of time is what you're looking at. That was 72, and Bell was probably 96, 97.
Yeah, I think so yeah.
It's 20-some years.
Let's go to the 1977 World Series. Same player, different uniform. Al McRae.
Willie Randolph.
I mean, he's 10 feet by second base in that play.
And look, you come around to score, and then nothing is called there. Martin goes out to argue, but that's legal. Look at him. I mean, that is... he couldn't block that good in the NFL.
He'd have a job if he could. And that's not to pick on Hal McRae, but those are two instances.
That's just the way they played the game. And I'm telling you, a lot of guys did it that way. You waited to it, and if there was a play, and of course we're showing you World Series play.
Right. If every game was on TV back then, there'd be a lot more to look at.
That is true. That was World Series action. But, you know, throughout the course of the year at second base, if you didn't get the ball or you got the ball and you knew who was running, you would come across, you wouldn't even make a throw because you knew a guy would try and take you out. Much different.
With 2 down, Corey Kluber finds the inside corner.
As a base runner, you were expected to go down and do that. You know, you don't want him to make a throw. Don't let him turn the double play.
Well, and I remember hearing, might have been you, there are some shortstops that would come down with a low sidearm throw and try to take your head off.
I saw Bert Campaneris one time, even though Buddy Bell was going to second base. We were playing Oakland A's. Bert Campaneris came down and threw it straight into the ground at his head and hit him in the head. You know, I mean, and he wasn't even trying to take him out like that. But he threw it down, and then a brawl ensued after that. But yeah, as an infielder, that's what you did. You tried to get to the ball and get the ball as quickly as possible, and you make those guys slide early.
Ramirez scoops it up, throws him out to end the inning. Couple of hits, no damage. 5 complete. Arizona 1, Cleveland 0.
Kids tickets start at just $10 for kids 12 and under with the purchase of an adult ticket. Kids tickets located in the family deck out of Progressive Field, home to the expanded kids clubhouse. Go to Indians.com for the information.
We are in the 6th inning now. Shelby Miller has pitched well for Arizona. He's given up just 2 hits. And one of those was an infield hit to Todd Hankins in the 3rd. Tyler Naquin, who steps to the plate here, is the only other hit for the Indians today, and that was a solid line drive to center field to start the game. And Shelby Miller fires a fastball.
Shelby Miller, you know, we showed you the numbers earlier where he had 6 wins, I think 17 losses, and an ERA just a hair over 3. He had 4 or 5 starts last year where he took no hitters past 5 innings.
The ball's hammered to deep center field. Brito looking up. Goodbye. Tyler Naquin with his tremendous spring continues even after being informed that he will make the club to hammer the baseball. That's his 3rd home run on the spring. 9 extra base hits in all.
Last game we televised, he hit 2 into the same spot, right center field. About the exact same spot. So this young man, I'll tell you what, he earned his spot on this ball club in the spring, and he tied the game up.
1-1 ball game. Tyler was smiling ear to ear this morning in the clubhouse, but he's not going to sit back and rest on what he's accomplished to this point.
Oh, it's just the beginning. Anything can happen. It's a thrill for a young man to, when you break camp, got a chance of, you know, getting his name introduced for opening day, running on that, you know, the foul line. Good for him. That's what you strive for. And everybody says, you know, he's always been hurt. Well, you know what? That's in the past. His job is to go out there and do the best he can do. And let's hope this is the beginning of a long time coming.
Now, Jose Ramirez has flied to deep center, and he's popped up to left.
I'll tell you what people are going to be saying. You know, okay, Naquin's here, and he had a chance to make the team. What about our other boys that are down there, our #1 draft picks?
Zimmer, Frazier, Bradley Zimmer,
yeah. Frazier. They're going to say, well, let's give them a chance. Forget everybody else. People are going to say, why wouldn't you? You know, and it's funny that the other 2 aren't in camp yet, of course, because they don't have to be. You know,
not in big league camp.
Right.
Yeah, they're not in the minor league camp.
Right. But I'm saying in big league camp. So Naquin has taken advantage of everything he's had this spring.
Ramirez sends one to deep center for out #1. We will potentially get a chance to see Bryson Miles, who's a young outfielder in the Indians farm system. He made the trip over today from Goodyear. Right now, Carlos Santana, who lined out to third base his first time up, flied to center back in the 4th. You know, this is that point in spring training now. We're in the 6th inning. The starters are both still pitching. All of the starting players are still in the game. Santana drives one deep center. Brito onto the track and makes the catch.
A little off the end.
2 down. Keeping Socrates busy out there in center field this inning.
Well, at the start of the game, I tell you, Miller, a fly ball pitcher. You know, a lot of fastballs, and you know he tries to keep it off the barrel of the bat, at least toward the end of it, or get it down inside. And Santana's flown out to center field a couple times today, and one got inside up on him. That one was just a little bit off the end of the bat, and he hit it a long way, but right to the warning track. Warning track power there. That's the pitch that Gomes had to scare on in his first at bat.
You see Miller climbing towards the 80 pitch mark. Everybody in that starting rotation trying to get stretched out so that they want to be at 100 by the time they break camp. Gomes was hit by the pitch, as Rick told you, his first time up in the fourth. He hit a ground ball to first that locked up Paul Goldschmidt, reached on an error. Both times, though, he was forced out at second base on a ground ball. This is a shot to third. A nice play by Jake Lamb, and he steals a hit away from Yan Gomes. So that ends the inning, but not before Tyler Naquin. Blast off. We are tied at 1, middle of the 6th. Located just north of Talking Stick here in Arizona.
I wish.
Improve your game and tune into the Golf Zone. Speaking of Arizona, Jimmy Hanlon, he's played a little golf out here in the desert.
Yeah.
Our resident PGA pro will have terrific tips. Improve your game. Talk about this weekend's match play tournament. Inside the Golf Zone with Jimmy Hanlon Sunday night at 8.
That was Jimmy's house.
Fox Sports Ohio.
When he stays out here and comes and shoots a couple of shows. I had a chance to play with Jimmy a couple of times this spring. It was fun.
Corey Kluber. This is inside ball 1 to Brandon Drury, who doubled in the first, grounded out in the third. It is tough to beat the Phoenix area. I don't know how far you want to stretch that, the metropolitan, this whole area for golf. I mean, Florida's got tremendous golf, but there's something about Arizona golf that is just tough to
Well,
top.
the difference between Florida golf and Arizona golf is Florida golf has a lot more water, and you got to watch out for the gators. Arizona golf, you hit it into the desert. Be careful because there's rattlers. When it gets sunny the way it's been and as hot as it's been this spring, they've been out a little bit earlier than normal. And of course, we all scatter into the desert.
Checked, it was a little bit high.
Yeah, they just finished. You know, they come out with the West Coast swing first when it comes to the PGA and golf. Start out in Hawaii, get to California, they hit Arizona, then they go down to Florida after Pebble Beach, and they just got finished that swing, tuning up for the Masters.
It's going to be foul at the third baseline.
That's the week when we get home. That's the week of the Masters.
Baseball season's winding down. The March Madness is coming to the end here shortly with the Final Four will be up.
Yeah, good time of the year for sports.
The Masters cranked up. Baseball just beginning.
NCAA's, NBA's. You know, there's a few weeks left to go in that season before the playoffs begin. Cavs trying to hang on to the #1 seed in the East.
Now the 2-2. Punched it, and that's going to drop for a hit.
This is what you call putting the ball in play. Good things will happen. He goes down, hits a good, I don't know if that was a cutter or a slider, but that's a pretty good job getting a base hit.
Paul Goldschmidt grounded out in the first and in the fourth. Goldschmidt has hit safely in 7 of his last 8 spring training games. And an off-speed pitch in for a strike. Chopped in the hole. Backhanded by Gonzalez, but can't come up with it cleanly. He might have had a play at second. That was going to be the only chance he had on the force.
Yeah, he did. I think right there you get into a hurry. It'll go as a base hit. Not that it was an easy play, but I think you get into a hurry where you want to get rid of it before you catch it. The main objective there, it's not right at you. You're not going to get a double play because Goldschmidt gets down the line very well. Get yourself 1 out. And he doesn't hold on to it, and you know, you're not going to do anything if you can't catch it cleanly. So I think he was trying to just get rid of it too quickly.
Well, David Peralta with a chance now to do some damage. 2 on, nobody out. Peralta singled his last time up. This would appear to be the 9th straight sellout here at Talking Stick for the Diamondbacks. 9 straight and 10 overall. They're averaging just over 11,500 fans per ball game. Only the Cubs have drawn better. In Arizona.
Yeah, they have a very good feeling about this team this year, and it all started after they signed Zach Greinke. That really put a lot of enthusiasm as they were getting ready and really looking forward to spring training before it even got here. With the new additions.
2 balls, no strikes.
And they're having a tremendous spring. Jim Pale, the manager's done a nice job. Matt Williams is back here again, isn't he?
Line drive, base hit left field. Hankins comes up with it. He'll get the throw into the cutoff man, and the bases are loaded on 3 consecutive singles for Arizona. Really a nice piece of hitting for Peralta. He didn't try to do too much with it.
Yeah, these guys have a very good offense. They can put the ball in play, as we've seen. Yeah, Matty's the third base coach for him out there. So now Kluber in a bit of a trouble here. Bases loaded and nobody out.
Wellington Castillo. And if you're wondering, there is nobody throwing in the bullpen. Fouled off. I'll tell you one thing, you look through the Arizona media guide, they have tons of special assistants and advisors.
Yeah.
Luis Gonzalez is senior advisor to the president and CEO.
Right.
Randy Johnson, special assistant to the president and CEO. J.J. Putz, former closer, he's a special assistant. So is Joe Carter. So is Dave Duncan. Fouled back.
Well, and there's a guy that coaches first base for him, Dave McKay, that has been with Tony since forever. You know, out in Oakland and St. Louis. So he keeps the loyal people that he knows about baseball at where they've been successful. You bring them in.
Well, they're loaded with nobody out. And Kluber's in a jam here in the 6th in a 1-1 ball game. Pinched in at the corners, middle infield double play depth. Andre talked about this earlier in the ball game where Corey Kluber said it was nice to get into a jam to remember how to get out of one, because when the regular season starts, there's no time to practice it. And against the Cubs the other night, he had bases loaded, only gave up the 1 run. He was aided by Michael Brantley. He was in his first big league spring training start, threw out a runner at home plate.
379. That is a sellout.
Kluber out of the stretch. He deals, and it's popped back out of play. Nobody throwing in the Indians bullpen. As you see Kluber just over the 70 pitch mark. Got some action down on the Arizona pen, so I would assume that after 6 innings of work, the day is over for Shelby Miller. This could very well be the last inning for Kluber.
Yeah, he would love to get a strikeout here, you know, and he's ahead in the count 1-2. Love to get that strikeout or a ground ball double play.
Up and away, it's 2-2. Now, one thing Terry Francona knows as well as every other manager, you get to this point in spring training, yeah, there are some decisions you've got to make to kind of tidy up the roster, but you want to get through healthy. Get everybody to opening day. There's a high fly ball left center. It's carrying too. Back is Naquin on the track, makes the catch against the wall. He flips it over to Hankins, who makes a throw in, and the Diamondbacks take the lead on a sacrifice fly by Castillo, scoring Brandon Drury. Everybody else moving up 90 feet, but with that ball carried a long way, it ended up being a tricky play for Tyler Naquin.
I got to tell you, it was a beautiful catch, and watch him flip it to Hankins out there and left, and it was a beautiful flip. He gets it, he hits the wall, he goes down. Now watch the flip right out of his glove, and Hankins gets it in, or another run would have scored. He's down, then a quick flip, and he was right there. So a nice play. Get the first out. Everybody moves up. They get a runner home on the sac fly. It's a 2-1 game, but the guys from first and second are now on second and third.
And Jake Lamb, the batter, homered back in the second inning, flied out to left his last time up, infield drawn in. Just watching the route that Naquin took on that fly ball once again illustrates how tricky playing the outfield can be in spring training, because at one point it looked like he was moving over laterally like he had an easy play on the ball, and the next thing you know, he's sort of in a back pedal trying to get back to the wall.
Well, anytime, you can see how much space is in this outfield. Very spacious outfield. When Hankins was looking at him, I said, okay, that's your job as a center fielder. You better run it down.
Watch Naquin.
I mean, it goes
first,
up.
He's kind of going over, and then, I better get back.
Yeah, he readjusts.
And back.
Yeah. That's why we say it's hard to take your eye off the ball out here, because when you try and pick up the wall, if you look back up, you may not pick up the baseball again. And that's one part of his game he's going to have to work on. You know, taking his eye off the ball and getting back to a spot where you believe it's going to take place. Well, it's hard to do down here. You can work on that when you get back home.
Well, you talked about the dimensions here. It's 345 down the lines, 390 to the power alleys, and then 410 to straightaway. I don't know if there's a park in the big leagues that's that big.
This is their dimensions back in Chase Field, the same dimensions, but the ball carries a lot better here than it does back east, that's for sure.
The 2 strike pitch. No, didn't get the call, and it did not go around.
Yeah, when you have 2 strikes as a left-hander. As a matter of fact, you know, he found the down and in zone of Lamb his first at bat when he hit the home run, so he did a nice job of just laying off of that pitch.
Line up the middle, and that's a base hit. Goldschmidt will score. Peralta around third is coming home. Naquin's throw cut off, and it's a 2-run single to make it a 3-1 Arizona lead. I'll make that a 4-1 Arizona lead. A 3-run 6th inning for the Diamondbacks.
Came back with the fastball, and Lamb did a nice job. He got a nice pitch, stayed on it, didn't try and do too much with it. Hit it right back up the middle and takes advantage of it. And Callaway going to go out and talk to Corey Kluber right now.
Bullpen
nice
getting
job.
busy.
4 hits in the inning for the Diamondbacks, and now the bullpen is getting busy. Yes.
Tom Gorzelani, one of the left-handers competing for a spot in that bullpen, gets up. If you missed it earlier, Joe Thatcher was told before the game that he will not make the club. So that leaves it down to Gorzelani, Detweiler, Crockett, and as Mickey Callaway told us earlier, it won't come down to any one appearance down the stretch here, even though all 3 of those guys were scheduled to potentially pitch in today's game. It's not going to be a simple case of, well, let's see who pitches better today, and that guy's going to make the team. High pop. It's shallow and right. Venable has it. 2 down. And it will bring up Chris Herman with 2 down. Ball 1. Down in the dirt. Kluber finds the outside corner. 13,379 the announced attendance here today, so another sellout for Arizona. You know, to this point, and granted, A lot can happen in the final few innings here, but to this point, this game has played out the way a lot of games played out for Corey Kluber a year ago, where he would pitch well, but the team wouldn't score. And then you give up a couple of runs late, and what looked like a really good outing suddenly looks like a so-so outing on paper.
Yeah, that's true.
Strikes him out.
Well, no, he got a piece of it.
Yep, held on.
You know, and also what happened to Kluber last year a few times was the response runs after their team, you know, when they did score for him, it seemed like a number of times he would go back and give it up right in the very next inning. Is when you need that shutdown inning, and that's hard to do.
Fouled off.
Yeah, I think the goal, if you're the Indians, anytime this guy is on the mound, getting 4 runs, and you pretty much don't have to worry. Easier said than done.
Well, that was a good stat for the Indians in general last year.
True.
They scored 4 or more. They were tough to beat. High pop.
That should stay in
Looks
play.
playable. Urshela makes the catch. That ends the inning, but not before Arizona cashes in with 3 in the 6th to take a 4-1 lead.
The $13 district ticket presented by Sports Time Ohio is a standing room only ticket that includes your first drink. You can grab some friends, catch the game from the corner of the new drink rails out in left field, and the district tickets are only available online. Visit Indians.com district ticket for more details.
Well, for the Indians here in the 7th inning, Will Venable will lead it off. Robbie Grossman due up second. Giovanni Urshela third. Shelby Miller still out there for the D-backs. He's only given up 3 hits in 6 innings of work. The only run coming on a solo homer by Tyler Naquin, who has 2 of the Indians' 3 hits on the day. There was activity last inning with Miller in the Arizona bullpen, but whoever it was that was throwing is set down. Now they've got a left-hander up getting loose. And that's up and away, 1-1. Venable grounded into a double play his first time up and bounced into a fielder's choice in the 4th. Way outside, 2-1. Back upstairs. haven't been to the new Cubs ballpark yet. At least I don't think I have. But I can't imagine there's another spring training park that has more shade than this one.
This is nice, isn't it?
That's the one thing. There's an absence of shade at a lot of the spring training facilities, and I get it. I understand a lot of the fans that come out from the Midwest, they want to sit in the sunshine, but sometimes it can be blistering hot, though. Venable down on strikes. Third K for Miller, one away. First base for Arizona is now occupied by Joaquin Arias. Phil Gosselin has taken over at third base, and then a couple of changes in the outfield as well. Robbie Grossman 0 for 1 with a walk. Takes down an in-ball one. .81 degrees here at game time. And a strike is called. It's 1-1.
Now, when you talk about it here in Arizona, the big hit for most people are coming out to the grass behind the home run fences, where they like to throw the blankets down and lay down. That's where the sun is. People like to go out there and watch the ball game and feel part of the action. But you're right. This has got some nice shade if you want to just take it in. You get enough sun around here before the game even starts.
Swung out and missed. Grossman, a big hack. He's down on strikes. Back-to-back Ks for Miller. And there are 2 down here in the 7th inning. The new right fielder is Jason Bourgeois. And in left, Peter O'Brien. And that's going to be it. We got a pitching change. Shelby Miller goes 6 2/3. Finishes with back-to-back strikeouts. And he leaves with a 4-1 lead. We'll have the new pitcher for Arizona when we come back. Our final game from the Cactus League comes your way Easter Sunday when the Indians host the Milwaukee Brewers from Goodyear. Cody Anderson scheduled to pitch for the Indians at 4 o'clock Eastern right here on the home of the Indians, Sports Time, Ohio. 2 down, and Giovanni Urshela 0 for 2 on the day is the batter. The new pitcher for Arizona is left-hander Andrew Chafin. Chafin has had a couple of stints in the big leagues with Arizona. A total of 69 games under his belt. Good pitch, got the inside corner. Last year in 66 appearances, he logged a 2.76 ERA. He's a former supplemental first-round pick by Arizona, the 43rd overall player taken in 2011. He is an Ohio product. There's a ball jolted to the gap, and it's cut off over there by O'Brien. Urshela.
Now there's a pitch right there last year. I don't think that Urshela was able to get to a whole lot, and he was down in the count here with 2 strikes. It's a fastball in, and it looks like it's in off the plate, but that front foot got down much quicker, and those hands got through the hitting area. That was a good pitch by Chafin, but that's a better job of hitting by Urshela to get the base hit down in the count 0-2.
Andrew Chafin out of Kent State. Was an All-American in 09. One of the flashes. Delivers a strike. Todd Hankins, who had an infield hit in the 3rd, struck out in the 5th inning. Swung on and missed. Down on strikes. That ends the inning. No runs ahead, a man left. Stretch time at Talking Stick. It's Arizona 4, Cleveland 1.
Youth baseball summer camps presented by Cleveland Clinics. Children's offer major league instruction to baseball players in Northeast Ohio. You can sign up today and let the professionals teach your child the Indians' way to play. Visit Indians.com, youth baseball, for more details.
For Arizona, here in the bottom of the 7th inning, they lead it 4-1. Nick Ahmed will lead it off. And a bunt third base side, but it's foul. Nick Ahmed had a base hit his last time up in the 5th inning. 1 for 2 on the afternoon. Kluber cut under that pitch a little bit high. There's a ball hitting the gap. Naquin won't get it. He'll chase it down. And a one-hop defense. And Ahmed is into second base with a double.
Well, there's a breaking ball, stayed middle of the plate now. You have to start thinking maybe fatigue setting in with Kluber. He's leaving some balls up in the zone in the middle of the plate. Ahmed hits a double, leadoff double now. They had 4 hits last inning off Kluber, and they start off this inning with the leadoff double.
Left field, second base, 79, Todd Hankins. Third base to shortstop, 39, Giovanni Urshela. Now playing third base, 92, Yandy Diaz.
So Kluber sets and fires, and it's up high. Indians have made some changes defensively this inning. As you see, left-hander Tom Gorzolani in the bullpen. Yandy Diaz is now at third base for the Tribe. Todd Hankins has come in from the outfield. He's now at second base. Jose Ramirez has gone from second base to the outfield, so those two just swap positions. It's another indication, though, of how the Indians would like to have Jose Ramirez in a position where not only can he fill third base, shortstop, second base on the infield, but in a pinch rig, maybe go to the outfield as well.
Well, hold your own. You're right. Why not? That's what a utility man does. You know, they carry a number of gloves now, and more teams are going to it. Where if you can play not only the infield positions and get out there for some outfield positions, why not?
Foul ball over toward the Indians dugout. Get an idea of what the Indians' new defense looks like there with Ramirez now at left. Naquin's still in the ballgame in center. Greg Allen has come on to play in right field. Hankins and Ramirez, as I told you, just swap positions. And Yandy Diaz is now at third base with Eric Gonzalez staying in the game at short. Carlos Santana at first. Yan Gomes behind the plate. So a number of the starters still in there, as is Corey Kluber, who's closing in on that 100 pitch mark. Socrates Brito, one of the top prospects in the Diamondbacks organization. Punch towards center field. Naquin got a great read on it, goes into a slide and makes the catch. Ball gets away though on the throw to the second baseman Hankins, and all the way to third goes Ahmed. So Naquin made a terrific play to make the catch, but maybe
ill-advised.
Yeah, the throw didn't really have a chance at it.
No, he wouldn't have had it because Ahmed's not going anywhere. He slides on, but he tries to throw behind him, and the throw was offline, and then short hop and was knocked away by Hankins coming in. So that ill-advised throw, one you should just hold on and just get it in.
Well, one away now for Brandon Drury, and a runner at third base, an insurance run. Drury, another guy that's highly thought of in the D-backs organization. Some folks wonder what happened to Drury, though. 2 years ago at Double-A, he had 26 home runs. Last year, hit just 5. But between Double and Triple-A, he had 40 doubles. So it does appear that this guy still can hit. Broke his bat. Can Gonzalez get it? No. And a run will score from third on a broken bat. Bloop that falls in shallow center, and here in Arizona, that's known as a Gonzalez. That's how they won the World Series.
Well,
0-2 over the Yankees.
It goes to show you how important one base 90 feet is, because you end up pulling the infield in. It's a shattered bat. It hits on the dirt, not even the grass.
Yeah.
But it's able to get the runner in from third base because the infield's in. You know, so that 90 feet that he moved up on the throw by Tyler Naquin, you know, it ends up costing Kluber another run. So
Corey's day is over as he heads to the dugout along with catcher Yan Gomes. So it's like Corey in his shadow. Where he goes, so goes Gomes. Gorzelani coming in from the bullpen. New catcher in for the Tribe as well. We'll be right back. Pitches this afternoon, made 97 in all, leaves with 1 on, 1 out here in the 7th inning. Down 5-1. Did give up 13 hits today.
That's a ton for him.
The mission accomplished, which was stretch out, try to build the stamina. New pitcher is Tom Gorzelani. New catcher is Guillermo Quiros. Gorzelani trying to make this club as a lefty out of the bullpen.
Now that was a first for me when Terry came out to take out Corey Kluber. Well, Gomes walked off the mound with him. They took out the pitcher and the catcher. I've never seen it like that before.
If he goes, I go.
Yeah. I didn't see the catcher running in from the bullpen, though. He came out of the dugout.
Definitely went around, and that is strike 3. 2 down. Home plate umpire Jim Wolf making the call, and it will bring up Jason Bourgeois. He took over for David Peralta. Bourgeois, a right-handed hitter. Normally, left-handers out of the bullpen come on to face left-handers. But I wonder if, because of the Indians roster situation, with maybe having to carry an extra utility or an extra outfielder, if you're only going to have one lefty in the bullpen, it almost might penalize a guy who's strictly a left-on-left specialist.
Right.
That throw was way off the mark. High. Hit the sidewall, and coming around third, Drury's going to score, and the Diamondbacks add another run. So Diaz, his throw should have gone into the dugout, but it hit the top railing, and when it did that, it carried by Santana and way back out onto the field, and that enabled Drury to come and score all the way from first base on that play.
Yeah, a play that should be made, but you're right, it's not. So the inning will continue, and when you're running with 2 outs, you see that ball goes back into play, and by the time they can track it down, Drury comes all the way around to score the 2nd run of the inning. So it's now a 6-1 game.
And Castillo, the catcher, with an RBI and a sac flies last time up. Steps in, takes a strike. I guess you know, thinking about that lefty situation, if you've only got one lefty and you go to him and they pinch hit, you can't always be going to make another move every time.
Well, you know what, though, as a left-hander coming in, you're right. He's going to match up against the best left-handers that the team has, because the good left-handers they won't pinch hit for, and if it's an average guy, you bring in the left-hander, they'll pinch hit for him, and he's going to face a right-hander. So he's going to have to. He just can't go out and face left-handers, and then in turn, you want to get an inning out of that guy. You don't want to bring him in just for one or two hitters. So I would think that has a lot to do with it.
You think back to a year ago when the Indians had Mark Zubczynski, very rarely would he face more than one hitter.
Well, there was a time, you're right, because he was great against left-handers, and at a time couldn't get right-handers out, and then there was a spell where he did. He got both people out when he first came over and started.
Pop back out of play. Last year, Mark Zubczynski had 45 appearances for the Indians, 20 in the third innings.
Yeah,
So there you go. A lot of the time he was in there one and done.
One and done, or
a couple of guys,
two
maybe.
tops.
Fresh set of baseballs for Jim Wolf, today's home plate umpire. As Terry Francona goes over the roster with Mike Barnett. Lineup card, taking a look at who's left, who's available. Out of play. Jason Bourgeois at first base with two down. The pitch is lifted to right field near the line. Allen, plenty of room, makes the catch. Ends the inning. D-backs tack on two more. We head to the 8th. Arizona leading it by 5. The Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. (6-1) Arizona as we head to the 8th inning. Salt River Fields at Talking Stick. And we've got some more changes. Start with the man in the middle. The pitcher is now right-hander Daniel Hudson. Andrew Chafin worked third of an inning. Allowed 1 hit, struck out a batter. Daniel Hudson comes on. And he'll face Eric Gonzalez, the number 9 hitter, to lead it off for Cleveland, and then Tyler Naquin due up next.
Yeah, Hudson, a former starter, now coming out of the bullpen. A couple of fastballs, 2 and 4-seamer. Struck a changeup as well.
Yeah. This guy's dealt with some serious injuries. He had the impingement in his business shoulder back in 2012, early in the season, and then about a month after he came back from that, right elbow blew out. Oh, Tommy John surgery. Just missed outside. Well, but last year came back and, pitched 64 games out of the bullpen, so that shows you the durability's there. 3.86 ERA. I didn't finish the story, so I got lost. I got sidetracked there. So he had the shoulder impingement, had the Tommy John surgery, came back, blew it out again, had another Tommy John surgery.
Did he really? So back-to-back after the impingement. That reminds me of the guy with Oakland, Jared Parker.
He's only the 4th guy in history, according to the Diamondbacks, as Gonzalez is thrown out. 4th guy in history to have back-to-back Tommy John surgeries in consecutive years and still make it to the major leagues and still get back.
That's that has a will to,
It's not a list you want to be on.
No, you don't want to be on a list like that. And I mean, the rehab and the work you have to go through just to get back to compete. For most people, think about surgery, and then you think about he went through 3 of them. That's pretty impressive as far as his work ethic goes. And the will to try and stay in the big leagues and pitch, but boy, oh boy, you would think at some point in time he'd say, all right, I've had enough, I got to hang him up.
Yeah, I don't know if he had to have actual surgery for the shoulder impingement, but still, no, he did not. It just cost him a month on the DL. But I mean, to tell you, back to back, I mean, I remember it happened to our buddy Brian Anderson. I don't think it happened in back-to-back years for him, but he had the Tommy John, came back, and then snapped it again.
Well, that's the thing. After you come back the first time and then you go right back out there and do it again, that's got to be disheartening. Or quite a challenge that you have to live up to.
Well, if anything, you start thinking, is this a sign? Am I supposed to be?
Right. Yeah, maybe it's time to move on. Well, I'm sure that goes into your mindset.
Naquin cuts and misses at a high pitch, and it's 1-2. On the count, a ball and 2 strikes. And Now Naquin rifles one into right field. It's a base hit as Bourgeois couldn't come up with it cleanly. Tried to short hop it.
That ball was smoked. That's why he couldn't come up with it.
Boy, another 3-hit game for Tyler Naquin.
Yeah, he comes right back out. Got the game started on the first hit in the top of the first. Then wants to go yard to right center field. His third. And we've witnessed every one of them. Gets right back up and hits a line drive to right field. So a good afternoon, and his great spring continues. That ball was hit right on the nose, a line drive that he could not get to.
Jose Ramirez takes a strike. Got in on him, but Ramirez muscles it into right field. Back-to-back one-out singles for the Indians here in the 8th inning. And up comes Carlos Santana. Santana 0 for 3. But Carlos overall has had a good spring. It's a big year for Carlos Santana when you consider that he is signed through this season, but there is a club option for next year.
Yeah, a big club option.
It's for quite a bit of money.
What's it, $12 million, I believe?
I'm going to say it's close in that neighborhood, yeah.
So yes, it is a very big year for him. No, Carlos, a guy I'd love to see him get off to a good start. Have a good first month. It takes a little bit of pressure off you. Not that it's the end all solve all to a year, but confidence wise, where you're not always battling uphill. You know, the first 2 months for Carlos has always been tough. You know, and then you're swimming upstream, and it's tough to try and get knocks, and sometimes you try too much.
Oh, a nice play defensively at second base, and they get the out at first. Tell you what, great effort there. Drury went in the hole. He did well just to knock it down. But fortunately for him, he was able to get a bare hand grab on the baseball and then make a good throw to retire Santana.
Yeah, it stayed right there in front of him. He was lucky it went right to his hand. I thought Arias was off the bag and he wasn't going to get back in time. You see, Carlos didn't start running. He was ready to peel off, thinking that it was going to be a base hit, I believe.
I agree with you.
And he didn't go all the way through the bag. So that's his fault for assuming that it was going to be a base hit. But I think he kept his eye on Arias at first base. But Arias was able to get back, and it ended up costing him a base hit.
So 2 down now for the catcher, Guillermo Quiroz. Quiroz is 34 years old. Venezuelan native. Played his first professional baseball game in 1999.
You make that sound like it's a long time ago.
It's 2 decades ago.
So seems like it was only yesterday.
And it's a nice play at short made by Ahmed to end the inning. So the Indians get a couple of knocks, but they leave them stranded. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th, 6-1 Arizona. 6-1 in favor of Arizona. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Whole host of changes for the Indians, and Zach McAllister is the new pitcher for the Tribe. He just pitched when we did the game the other day, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Good to see him bouncing back. He was one of a number of players.
Wasn't he the first one to go down? I think
he was.
Pretty close to it.
Dealing with that flu bug. Trying to get himself ready to start the season. He's got the 6, 7, and 8 spots due up. Indians have made more changes. All kind of. I don't think there are any starters left now. We've got new player everywhere. A number of them are minor leaguers getting their opportunity to play in a big league spring training game. Big league meal money for the day.
Well, you take into consideration they had a night game last night in Goodyear,
right?
You know, so
that's why some of the coaches aren't here today.
Right, your coaches get a little break, as well as some of the players that played last night.
Mike Sarbaugh not with the club.
That's
Brad
another
Mills,
thing
Ty Van Berkeley.
We talk about, or we don't talk about a lot, is when you're playing in spring training. Almost all of them are day games.
Drilled the deep center field. It's over the head of the center fielder Allen, and into second base with a double is Gosselin. That ball was clobbered. Let's go down to Andre Knott, who's with a guy who's clobbered a lot of baseballs this spring.
Thanks, guys. Tyler Naquin, what does it feel like when I say you'll be with the big league club on April 4th?
It's exciting, man. You know, it's everybody's dream, and you know, being able to live it out, and, you know, get the words from Tito and Cincinnati this morning, you know, is pretty. It's surreal, man. It's a good feeling.
All right, who's the first people you called when you found out you were coming with the big league club?
Mom, Dad, and my brothers right away.
Now, are they making plans to be in Cleveland now on April 4th?
Absolutely, absolutely.
For you, you've gone through some injuries over the last couple of seasons. Just talk about the frustration that you've gone through over the last couple of years, and how good does it feel to go through the offseason and to have this kind of happen this spring?
Oh, it feels awesome. I mean, obviously, you know, you get a broken hand from a pitch and then get a concussion, you know, run into the wall. And, you know, I believe those are things, you know, playing hard and stuff. You know, sometimes you can't control stuff like that, but you got to stick with the process, man. I trust this front office and, you know, this staff, all the way from the trainers all the way up, you know, doctors and everybody that helped me through the process. And, you know, to finally get the words, you know, trusting it was the best thing that I could ever do.
You told me about 4 weeks ago, you said, look, I just want to get through this camp and show everybody I can be healthy, because you had the feeling that you could be a big league center fielder. And you talk about those injuries. Obviously, they're all injuries that kind of happen from playing hard, and this is how your style is. But you told me, I'm not going to stop playing hard.
No, never. You know, there's another ball today up against the wall, hit the wall and fell to the track, you know, and I'm sure, you know, it felt good to kind of do that again, honestly, and just little scary moments here and there, but man, you just got to play fearless, smart but fearless.
You call it a scary moment. I got to tell you, everybody here in the dugout jumped up and wanted to run out and come get you. But you're not going to change who you are at the end of the day, correct?
No. But that, you know, that's, like I said, fearless but smart. You gotta know that you can contribute to the team and help them win. And you know, I'm excited, man. There's a bunch of great guys in the clubhouse, this staff. Everybody's been awesome to me, and I can't complain about nothing, man. It's just it's very exciting.
You know, Andre, ask him now. Once he breaks camp and gets to the big leagues, all these big league ballparks will be new for him out in center field as well.
You know, Rick's upstairs. He says one of the things that you have to look forward to, or not look forward to, is all these outfields will be different for you in the big leagues. How much are you looking forward to learning all the different leagues and the different ballparks?
Well, I'm sure Brantley will let me know real quick. He's always on me, man. I love that dude, though. You know, like I said, these guys, you know, nothing negative, man. These guys, you know, I love being in this dugout, you know, all the way from Tito to everybody, man. It's just really exciting, and I'm honestly speechless at times right now.
You know, when you got drafted, and everybody has a list of things, the positive and negative that are said about them when they're drafted. And everyone said, oh, best contact hitter. Now we've seen you over the last couple of weeks get a little bit of power, hit some home runs. Are there any labels that you don't want tagged upon you, or do you even know what kind of hitter you want to be as you kind of grow into your body?
No, I mean, honestly, you know, the strength camp that I went to for the 2.5 months here, you know, I think that had something to do, but mainly that's just protecting from injury, man. You know, being able to play center field every day, you know, that's a task itself, and just being able to, you know, bigger, stronger, and faster, and, being able to run myself out there in center field whenever my name's called in that lineup, that's something to be said for. And just being ready to go every single day, stick to that routine, and just play hard.
You talked about that strength program, and I don't want to take the dates away from you, but you basically stuck it out. You went home, 5-6 days and came right back here to Goodyear?
No, I was there for a little bit longer than that. I mean, I'd say probably, 20 days or so. But, right after that, did a little fishing with my brother and my dad, saw my mom, saw the family, got that squared away. And then, man, I just knew that there were bigger things out there. And, I knew that I was healthy, I could contribute, and there's only one way to do it, and that's doing what you got to do in order to make it. And that's bottom line.
I don't know how many people know this back at home or you guys even upstairs, but Cody Anderson was the guy that you roomed with, correct? Now, Cody has been kind of the poster child for the developmental program and coming here in the offseason. And seeing what he's done to his body and seeing the success he had last season, how much did that push you and how much did that show you that maybe that's the way that I need to go to kind of get this thing going? Yeah,
me and Cody are real close, though. We lived together during the strength camp. But honestly, I didn't even talk to Cody about the strength camp. Just, they never force anything on you. Like I said, this organization just, they're going to offer you the best advice. They're going to offer you the best opportunity to make yourself better. It's up to you if you want to take it or not. The strength coaches, they offered it to me, and I said, hey, absolutely, let's go, and I want to see what it's about. And man, it was the best thing. Honestly, I can't wait for this season to start. But being able to get back in that weight room and do things the right way again.
They're missing you out there in center field right now. See that ball?
I hear you. No, Greg's doing a great job, man. Greg's a good dude.
Nobody are going to catch those balls out there.
You wouldn't even have caught them, right?
Nobody. You need a ticket. All
right, one of the things talking about you as an outfielder, you like to play a little shallow sometimes. Is that something that, I know Tito's brought it up, is that something you plan on changing, or you can kind of stay the same way?
No, I mean, it's getting that happy medium. When in my first few games I had to make a diving play backwards, and, I made a pretty good play on it, and I felt like, we came in and kind of looked at it, maybe I was a little bit shallow. Was able to still make the play, and then, today I ended up playing a little deeper, and they bloop one in there. We got to figure that out. But no, man, squared away and just, just a little happy medium right there. But, it's a lot of fun out there, a lot of fun.
Back to working out over the offseason. Anything about your body change after being out here for a couple of weeks longer than you usually would have been?
I mean, just mainly overall just putting on weight and just being stronger in my legs. Like I said, you see a lot of these big league hitters. You got a perfect example here, Goldschmidt. Guys like that, man, those guys hit from their bottom half, and they hit from the ground up, and just, you see what that man does with the baseball.
Absolutely. All right, Cody, last thing I'll ask you. Cody doesn't have you stretching like he stretched. I know Austin lived with him last year. He said he was waking up to yoga poses with Cody. It scared him.
Yeah. No, Cody, he's a little bit, he's wound. He's just really stiff. I'm wound really tight, but, I stretch quite a bit. But Cody takes it to a little bit different level. He's a little bit bigger boy.
No doubt. Tyler, congratulations. I hope you, I know this is a day you'll never forget. Great spring, and hopefully you can carry it on into the season.
Well, thank you, sir. Thank you.
All right, back to you guys up top.
Thanks, sir.
Sir.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you, sir. May I have another?
Are you kidding me?
All right, thanks, Andre. Down in the dirt from Zach McAllister. A couple of doubles in the inning have led to another run for the Diamondbacks.
Andre is pretty old. He should direct this, sir.
He's sitting back down in his easy chair. Chopped up the middle. And the shortstop, Yu Chang, throws across to end the inning. Diamondbacks tack on another run. They're having all the fun this afternoon. 7-1 Arizona on top. Earlier today, Yan Gomes behind the plate.
A couple of beautiful throws. That one from his knees. I mean, it was a perfect strike, able to tie it, but then Ramirez made the play on this one. The throw short hops him. He takes the throw and backhands and helps him out right there. You see Gomes well appreciates that. So good afternoon behind the plate for Yan. He's ready to go as far as the throwing goes.
Evan Marshall on the pitch now for Arizona. Here in the 9th inning. Reminder, we'll be back with you on Easter Sunday, 4 o'clock Eastern time. When the Indians take on the Milwaukee Brewers, it will be our final spring telecast.
Yeah, and then it's let's go. Let's start the season, huh? Of course, they'll have about another week to go in spring training, or close to it, about 6 days, because they finish up earlier in the week in Arizona before they head to Texas for a couple of games.
Yeah, the last game in Goodyear will be on March 31st against Cincinnati.
Next Thursday.
And then April 1st and 2nd against Texas. Off day at home on the 3rd, and then opening day April 4th on Monday. Breaking ball down low. Greg Allen at the plate. Leading off here in the 9th for Cleveland. And that's down low. Greg Allen was a 6th round pick 2 years ago out of San Diego State. Slaps it into left field for a base hit.
Pretty nice swing right there. Take it the other way.
Let's take a look at what the Indians have ahead of them in that first month of the season. They'll open at home against Boston. First road trip takes them to Chicago for 3, and then 3 down in St. Pete against Kevin Cash and the Tampa Bay Rays. Back home for interleague play, 3 against the defending National League champion New York Mets. The Mariners come to town, and then back out on the road. The thing that's a little unsettling about that first month of the season is that you've got Boston, Tampa, the Mets, and the Mariners. So the Indians' 3 opponents at home in April. It's their only trip to Cleveland.
Yeah, well, hopefully we have a spring like we had a winter back there.
Mild and easy.
That is correct. You know, and to me, the one thing that the Indians, everyone's talked about it this spring, is getting off to a good start because of the way it's been the last couple of years. And that is one thing. You'd like to see them at least not dig a hole early in that first month, but also for me is playing much better baseball in your own division. That to me is a key component.
Robbie Grossman delivers a single up the middle, so back-to-back hits to open the 9th for Cleveland. Well, and I think that the division has the potential to be as competitive top to bottom as it's ever been. We've talked about this before. In my mind, the Royals are the team to beat. I don't care what anybody says. Right. They've got the big trophy.
I don't think you're going to get many people argue with that.
But then you've got all the way to the bottom of the division.
Well,
depending on who you think's at the bottom. Detroit, Chicago.
They've always had our number. Detroit
Minnesota
does.
has made a tremendous turnaround a year ago.
Yeah, there's something about it where everybody plays everybody tough in this division. You got to go out and you got to fight for it, and you know, plays here and there make a big difference.
You know, Ned Yost told me in Nashville during the winter meetings that he said, you know, when you face Corey Kluber and Carlos Carrasco, he said those kind of matchups, that game got us ready for the postseason. He said there was no walk in the park in the Central Division when you're going up against the teams that they played day in and day out, and I think you have to believe that. Yandy Diaz takes inside. Two balls and two strikes. Arizona manager Chip Hale would probably like to see Marshall throw a few more strikes here. Got a guy coming out in the 9th inning with a 6-run lead. The last thing you want to do is see him fall behind, especially after a couple of hits. He's 2-2 to Marshall, or 2-2 to Diaz, excuse me. And Marshall slipped, but he was able to regain his footing. And he throws out Diaz one away. Chip Hale comes out of the dugout just to check and make sure Marshall's okay.
Yeah, that back foot slipped off the mound when he got it. I think he realized he only had one play, and that was first base, to get it out in that situation. He didn't panic.
Now here's Ronnie Rodriguez. Solid year at Akron last season. Drives one to center field. And this baby is gone, I believe. Let's see. Yes, it is indeed a 3-run homer for Ronnie Rodriguez. That one cleared the first section of that concrete wall in straightaway center field. It's a 3-run homer, and Rick, that ball was clobbered.
I got to tell you, I saw his hands down, and I'm thinking to myself, boy, he's on the plate, he's got the hands down, but he put them up there. Look at him, they're above his head. He picked out a high fastball, and I mean, put a swing on that. That ball jumped off his bat. What a swing. Beautiful high fastball. You know, most guys would take that for a ball. He drills it to straightaway center field, and that got out there with the cactus, the saguaros. Might have hit a Coke can on one of those saguaros.
Ronnie Rodriguez.
What a swing.
Last year played in only 72 games for the Rubber Ducks, Dave Wallace and company, but he hit 286. You saw the numbers there. Belted 11 homers.
Watch the hands. The hands go up, man. He was saying, look at, they're above his head. He gets them back and loaded, and then just got a fastball. That was like BP for him right there.
So a 7-4 ball game now. Yu Chang lifts this ball foul and out of play. Yu Chang out of Taiwan. Last year at Lake County. According to Baseball America, he's still a highly thought of prospect in the organization in terms of ranking. Six 175 pounds. Right-handed hitting infielders, playing shortstop as a replacement here today. Takes down low. His first action with the Indians organization 2 years ago with the Arizona League squad. 42 games, he hit .346. That ball's hit pretty hard.
Yeah,
deep left field. O'Brien looking up.
That's
off the top of the wall. Yeah, look at Chang flying around the bases. He's headed for third. Here's the throw. It's not in time. He's got himself a hustle triple.
That ball I thought was going to get out of here. It hit the top of the fence. It's a high fence out in left field. But he kept hustling, and the play was in front of him. He made the decision. You know, you can't get thrown out. You're still down 3 runs. This ball gets by the left fielder. There he comes running in, and he sees him trying to stretch it into a triple. He hustles, slides in there safely.
You know, it didn't really seem like O'Brien was that close to the fence. That must have taken a kind of a funny kick off the screen. And there are 2 down as Chang scores on the play. It's a 4-run ninth for the Indians. They've cut the gap to 7-5, but now there are 2 down. Nathan Lukes picks up the RBI on the ground out. Lukes, a former 7th round pick by the Indians just last year out of Cal State Sacramento. So with 2 down and the base is empty here in the 9th inning, Bryson Miles steps to the plate. 6th round pick back in 2011. Takes low. His 51 RBIs for the Rubber Ducks were 2nd on the club last year. He also had 23 doubles, 5 triples, 9 homers. Two years ago, Miles had to deal with a knee injury. Had a tear in the meniscus in the right knee. Three years ago, he's a guy that had a 23-game hitting streak. He's waiting the 2-2 pitch and swung out and missed, and the game is over. The Indians strike for 4 in the 9th, but the Diamondbacks hold on to win it by a final of 7-5. Nice to see the young guys come up here in the 9th inning and make a little noise. Ronnie Rodriguez belting a mammoth 3-run homer. And then Yu-Ching Chang with a triple and coming home on a ground ball out. But too little, too late for the Tribe today. 7-5 is the final. We'll have some final thoughts from Arizona right after this.